are you okay to share where you are currently financially?
Oh my God.
To another episode of Sit Back with Sonia, where we completely overshare. And in this case here today, I'm very privileged to already know our guest, and this is a cross collaboration we have been waiting for 2 years. So let's get started, shall we? You would recognize our next guest not just as a dedicated healthcare professional, but she blew up all over TikTok, now on Instagram as well, so many places. She's been traveling around the world and working with so many amazing clients as well. Please welcome Miki Rai. Hello. Hey girl, how are you?
Hi.
So good to see you. We are so coordinated today, weirdly.
I know.
It is never easy to catch a busy content creator who also has a day job and flew 18 hours to Singapore?
Well, 16 direct,
hours.
non-stop is 16.
Yeah, so thank you for making time here.
So
I'm going to take you back to when we first invited you on the radio show. Did you think I'm not sure whether to go on their show, or I don't know these people, should I go?
No, I didn't think that at all. I think I always assume everyone's very nice and kind.
Yeah.
So I'm oh yeah, it's Singapore, it's very safe, I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah.
I had actually seen Joe Kim's stuff for a long time, and your stuff through Joe Kim's stuff as well. And so when I was coming to Singapore, he DM'd me and he was like, hey, do you want to come on? I was like, oh my gosh, yes, because I don't know if I actually ever told you this story. I started my career on radio, actually.
I think you mentioned it.
Yeah.
You mentioned it when you were launching your podcast. You were talking about it. Yeah.
So I was called 小小主持人, so Little Miss Host, and
Cute.
I'm pretty sure I was 7 or 8 years old, and I was voice-overing for Mulan on a Chinese radio show.
OMG.
I was Mulan and I was Mushu, so I had to do everything.
Wait, what?
It was low budget. And then that's how my agent found me, and then that's how I started to do some modeling, commercial, and then eventually became a creator.
How difficult is it to juggle your day job and doing all this content creation? Because as we know, content creation is a full-time job.
I mean, I think part of it is that when I'm working my nursing job, then that feels like a break from content creation. And when I'm doing content creation, that feels like I'm taking a break from nursing. And so they each feel like rest in their own ways. And, on the days that I do nursing, I pretty much exclusively do nursing. I'm not also going home and filming a video after a 12-hour shift. That's quite
tough.
Unmanageable.
Yeah.
And just dealing with, learning about time management in your 20s, I feel like is such a difficult task, right? Just figuring out a good balance, but I feel like I have it now where I am having a good team that is supporting me as well. I'm not doing all of the editing, all of the production by myself anymore, and so they are very much hands on deck even while I'm doing my nursing job. Yeah.
But do you ever feel burnout at any point?
First year I started working as a nurse was the year that I experienced the most burnout. Right around the 1 year mark, I quit my first nursing job. I switched to a different nursing job. So Monday through Friday, I was working a full-time nursing job. And then Saturday, Sunday, I was working a different nursing job, per diem, which means you add yourself to the schedule. And then on top of that, I was staying up editing until 3 a.m. every night and waking up early to do brand deals. And it was all voluntary. I signed up to do all of those things, but I quickly realized that it was not sustainable. And so for me, I feel like I am very harsh on myself. I always am thinking more, I want to do more. And then as I've gotten older, I've realized that more is not always the answer. I still want to enjoy my life. I still want to be happy. And so when I felt burnt out, I took a step back and reevaluated. I moved my jobs down to just one nursing and then one content creation.
Yeah, you gotta be Actually, this takes me back to the episode we did with Keng Hua and Xi'an, where she's a really established actress, Crazy Rich Asians, where she said if you really want to pursue a passion, there's no such thing as I got no time.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we're always I got no time, I just want to go back and sleep, or I have no time to exercise, I'm just gonna do this. But you can always carve out time for something that you feel passionate for. I'm gonna involve the audience right now since you got your paddles next to you. So what's gonna happen is, if you feel like you've experienced or are experiencing burnout, raise the green side up. If you are not, you can raise the red side up. No, a lot of you know, but some of you, yes. It is a balance and a choice, I think.
I've learned that not every single second of your life needs to be productive. You are allowed to just rest and just lounge on the couch, watch Korean dramas, watch anime, find what works for you and Like, do it as often as you can. Schedule it in your calendar if you need to, right?
So taking you back to, maybe earlier days, because now we're talking so much about what you've been achieving in your adult life, but I'm sure these behaviors already began when you were much younger. So in your childhood, I used to hustle like a side job when I was in school.
Me too.
I was a frozen yogurt girl. Yeah.
How old were you?
In my teens.
Okay.
I think I was being paid like $6 or $7 an hour or something.
Did you ever get an allowance growing up?
I did.
Okay.
In primary and secondary school, but after that, I was kind of on my own most of the time.
Got it.
But my dad, because I'm the only daughter, I'm the only child, he'll slip me some extra cash once in a while.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, and then I'll use it to go party. Like when I was like I get $50, I'll save that. To get another $50, that's it. I can open a bottle or something.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart.
Yeah, but I didn't save much of that, which was my mistake. Yeah. How about you?
I think my parents definitely trained me quite well when I was younger. I'm very fortunate. My parents are both pretty financially literate, and so I learned a lot from them. So the first thing that they did was that they never gave me an allowance. I was never given money routinely. If I did chores or I did something, perhaps I could earn some money, but nothing was regular, so I had to earn the money. And, so I made 25 cents every time I did a set of chores, not one chore, like a set of chores. I needed to do the trash, the dishes, and everything added together is 25 cents.
Girl, what?
Yeah, I know, so stingy, right?
Yeah, that 25 cents should be like every fork that you wash.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I should invoice them now,
yes,
right
now,
So they didn't give me much money, and so I was like, okay, how can I earn more money? Because, even to buy orange juice, you need more than 25 cents.
I was just going to ask, what were you trying to buy that you needed money for?
Just snacks. I just like to eat snacks. And so I wanted to buy Pocky, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, she's a big fan of Asian snacks too.
Yes,
I'm
my
sure.
entire pantry, I just redid it. It's just like a display of Asian snacks. But what I would do is my parents bought me a bike. So I would take my bike and I would ride it to the stationery store. And at the stationery store, I would buy these pencils, the mono erasers. So I would go buy this stuff with my own money, and then I would sell it at school for double the price.
What? And it worked?
And it worked because other kids were getting allowances from their parents, but they didn't have a bike. They couldn't go to the store when they wanted to.
For convenience.
Yeah, and you know what? I even did a gift packaging service. So I packed it all up and I put a ribbon on it so that every customer, when they receive it, it's very beautiful.
Yo, girl, you were an entrepreneur at
I was hustling.
What age was this?
This was 4th grade, primary school.
You thought out of the box.
Yeah.
And did your classmates ever realize that they were being
Scammed?
I didn't want to use the word scammed. You said it.
I'm sure they knew I was upcharging, but I offer good service. Delivery straight to the classroom to your backpack. Packaging. And I also offer bundled deals. So if you buy multiple, I give you a discount.
Girl, what?
Yeah.
That is genius.
Yeah.
Did your parents ever find out you were doing this, or did other of your classmates' parents realize why is Miki selling my kid a pencil that is twice the amount? Or they never said it?
Not my friends, but I think my parents knew I was doing something. But
a side hustle.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know. Because, so my dad, he had something called the dad bank, okay? So I had 25 cents from the chores, and I would put the money in the dad bank, and every month on the 1st, he would give me 10% interest. Unheard of, right? You cannot find a bank these days with 10%.
Yeah.
But I only had $5, so it was 50 cents, right?
Yeah.
But he found out that I was depositing more money into the dad bank, so he was like,
what's up with that?
Yeah, where is this money from?
Yeah.
But it was from my pencil side hustle. Actually in America, so you're not legally allowed to work until you turn 16. So I was just doing these small side hustles until I turned 16. And then at 16, that's when I got my first. Similar to your froyo, I started working at a bakery.
Oh.
Every time I go to work, they give me 1 free bread. And I love to eat. So every day I would go to work so happy.
It sounds like you were a really independent person growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, despite you saying that, your family is quite financially literate, but sometimes we don't learn independence until much later.
Yeah.
Would you say that you were kind of just born this way, mindset-wise, you're an independent girl, or you kind of developed it over the years?
I think Mama Rai did a really good job just, teaching me to be independent. Yeah, she did a really great job, and she always encouraged me to pursue the things that I'm passionate about. She never discouraged me from doing anything, and so I think I felt very confident to try new things.
Yeah. Well, that being said, after all the stories that you told me, it does sound like there's a motivation there. So would money be the driving force for you, would you say?
I think it would be difficult to say that it's not a driving force. In reality, you need money to do a lot of the things that you may enjoy. Perhaps that's eating, perhaps that's going on a holiday, right? You need money to be able to have access to the things that you would like to do. And I think also with money comes freedom, right? The freedom to choose what kind of life you want to live, whether you want to go to a really difficult job that perhaps pays you more, or would you like a more laid back job because maybe financially you're more stable and you can afford to take a bit of a pay cut, right?
Yeah.
So money is definitely a motivating factor, but not in the sense that I want millions, billions of dollars. It's not the money in my bank account that is what I'm searching for, but rather the freedom to be able to choose my schedule.
Yeah, it's basically being financially independent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna take a short break with a little game that I have prepared over here.
Ooh.
I don't think we've ever played a game together on
First game
recording,
ever?
right? First time. So it's a category game.
Okay.
And what's gonna happen is, I haven't seen these cards. The producer slipped them here.
Okay.
So it's always a surprise on the show, honestly.
Perfect.
It's a surprise for the both of us. So I'm gonna open the first one, read out the category, and we have to bounce back and forth words that are related to the category.
Okay.
And whoever gives up first or has a repetition, the game will end there.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
That round. Ready?
Yes. I'm stressed.
I'm
My blood
stressed.
pressure just went up.
Okay. Really? Okay, here we go.
This one.
Okay, what is it?
Ready? And the card is things you can do with $1 million.
Oh my god! Buy a Taylor Swift VIP package.
Buy a house.
You can't really buy a private house here with 1 million. Right, guys, come on.
In the boonies.
I will donate half of it to a charity of my choice.
Animal shelter.
What else would I do? Provide my family with a holiday across Europe.
Give all of my subscribers treat them all to a meal. Treat them all to a meal. Treat them all to a meal.
Give them I was gonna say, you can only give them $1 each. Because you have so many followers.
Indomie for everybody.
I love that. Okay, I guess we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much, Miki. $1 million, honestly, now that I think of it.
Yeah, that's not enough to buy a house in Singapore,
It's not enough
right?
to buy houses. I mean, you can if you, I guess, do this thing called BTO or public housing.
I see.
But still, even so now, it is so expensive. Speaking of which,
Yes.
I just wanted to jump in real quick because you are a homeowner. So it's nice that you brought that up. And you were a homeowner at 24. You bought an apartment.
Yes.
So how did you feel okay, I'm able to afford this. This is within a comfortable range for me. That I won't go broke paying for this mortgage.
Totally. So I have to caveat because I bought my home in Seattle, Washington, which is a major city, but it's not as expensive as a place like California, perhaps Los Angeles or Bay Area. So it is a bit more affordable and definitely more affordable than Singapore. In the US, the way that house buying works is that you need to typically put down at least 10 to 20% down payment, and then the rest of that you can take a 30-year loan. And so I knew from a very young age that I would need to get to that number. And so even in college, all throughout college and even before college, at the bakery, at selling pencils, all that money, I spent very, very, very little of it except on food. Food was the only thing I would buy, but everything else I would save and either invest it or save it in my bank account in a high yield savings account, just slowly building up, the money that I had from $100 to $1,000 to $10,000 and slowly accumulating until I hit a six-figure amount so that I could buy the house.
You hit a six-figure amount at 24.
Yes, I was very lucky. But at one point I was working 3 jobs. I was also doing content full time, and thankfully, we're very lucky because content is quite a lucrative field, and also it's at your own pace, right? You can film it when it's convenient for you. So even with a day job, I can film at night, I can film in the morning.
But it's really a choice,
Yeah, but I really enjoy it,
Exactly. So that's what drives you, and you don't feel like it's work.
Perhaps, yeah. In middle school, actually, like I was the one who would edit all the school projects on iMovie and like edit all the photos and stuff, and I would do it even if no one paid me a dime. So the fact that somebody pays me to do what I love is still honestly a dream.
So aside from sleep and time, what else did you sacrifice to do all this? I'm sure you don't sleep that much, like, or you didn't sleep.
No, I do. I do sleep 8 hours every day. Yeah, that's a non-negotiable for
shocked.
me.
I guess how many hours I sleep on average?
3.
Like, did I really give that?
Sonia doesn't sleep at all. You know, like any big event in Singapore, Sonia is there because she's the best of the best hosts in Singapore, you know?
Thank you. You're too kind, you're too kind. Okay, but taking you back to now, since we were talking about finance and personal life and, you know, you brought Kevin in, I can't leave this episode without bringing him up because this is the perfect time to talk about the men when they're not here.
Yes,
right?
My favorite
perfect
topic.
Time, yeah. He's a sweetheart, firstly, you know, and I'm so happy for you guys. And you also told us a little bit about the engagement, how he forgot the ring and he had to go back and get it and come back.
He very much did forget the ring, but it makes it very memorable, you know.
Of course.
Good story to tell.
These little stories that you always remember, it's a core memory for the rest of your life. How open are you guys about financial talk between the two of you?
Yeah, I think between the two of us, we've always been very open with each other. Like initially when we first started dating, we already really had the conversation, I think. Oh. And similarly, I talk about pay and salary with my friends, with my colleagues, and so it only makes sense to also talk about it with somebody who I'm in a relationship with.
It's interesting because, and okay, audience, maybe I'll get your take on this. Are you open about your earning power with your friends? Okay, more no's here. With your partner? Yes, okay. So I wanted to address that because my friends and I don't really talk about
it.
Numbers. Like, okay, with my adult friends, like we kind of know. Like, we kind of get it. Sometimes they'll ask for our opinions, like, hey, do you think I should accept this offer? You know,
especially in the same industry, you have to discuss and talk because they may be lowballing you and you won't know unless you're discussing, right?
Yeah. But I feel that with certain groups of friends, it's a little harder to talk about these things.
Your childhood friends, probably,
yes,
right?
Yes,
yeah.
It's a bit harder because, you know, everyone has varying earning power, right? And you don't want to feel like I'm flexing or I'm, you know, so I just keep it very low key.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to have their company.
Totally.
You know, and also whatever help we can offer each other, that would be good, you know.
Yeah.
But I think in regards to sharing with my partner, yes, we're more open about that. We do talk about it. Like we do talk about what we have to spend on month to month.
Sure.
Because we also want to move on to like a next stage, you know. So these conversations have to be had.
And I think everybody has a different comfort level, and it's not like, oh, week 1 into dating, like you need to talk about this immediately, right?
Yeah.
Just figuring out what works for you, and as long as both partners are on the same page, there's nothing more important.
Yeah. When did you and Kev start talking about money and finances?
Actually, back then I was earning much less, so I feel it was actually much easier to talk about it. And then because we already had that conversation, as I've kind of grown and progressed, obviously he's been included in part of that conversation, and so it was never an awkward thing.
That's good.
Yeah, Kevin actually is the one. I don't know if Jeremy reviews your offers for you. Kevin loves reviewing the offers and seeing like, you know, and sometimes, you know, brands will lowball you and Kevin will be like, did they miss a zero? Did they put a zero?
And we've joked about this before because, and I'm sure you've addressed this in some videos, that you have a higher earning power in this present moment, do you?
Yes, at this present moment, that's correct. I think Kevin is so secure in himself and I'm so lucky. You know, I learned so much from him about not only about like finances, but just like maturity, how to handle like difficult conversations, but especially when it comes to finances, he's like, heck yeah, like I'm dating someone who makes more, that's awesome.
Yeah,
right?
We had this conversation, I think it was addressed during dinner. He was like, I'm gonna chill. Like he was like,
he was like, babe, if you wanna work, I'm so happy to stay home, watch the kids, watch the animals, you know. And I'm like, no, babe, like you need to go to work. I will stay home and watch the animals. I'm kidding.
And create content out of that and earn money from it. Amazing, that is amazing.
So I think the most important thing I've learned from relationships is that contribution is not just monetary, right? Because people are quick to say like, oh, right now you are earning more, or maybe in the future he will earn more. We don't know what's gonna happen in the future or who's gonna earn more, but our contribution to the relationship is measured far more than just by dollar amount. Like who is the one doing the dishes? Who is sorting the bills, who's the one running the errands, taking care of the animals, walking the dog, right? Those are all contributions, and I don't think they're any less valuable than being the higher earner or the breadwinner.
That's a very mature way of seeing it, because I think in certain societies we place so much emphasis on earning power and monetary contributions to the household. Okay, since we're thick in the topic of relationships, financial talk and all that, and we know that for some people, opening up about financial topics may be a difficult conversation to be had. So we're gonna play a little game of whose secret this is, okay? We'll review the secret and try to match it to the audience member. Okay, shall we try that?
Yes, we'll try.
Okay, let's have Jessica, Abram, and Risha. Hi. So you guys already know each other? No. Total stranger. You know what? We should turn this into a dating show next time, as well.
We should.
This is how
that
strangers
would be so much
meet.
Fun.
Don't give it away, guys. This is like poker time, okay? All right. I always lie about my purchase to be 30 or 50% cheaper than the actual price.
I do that as well.
Yeah, sometimes I just don't say.
I just make up a number.
Yeah, I just don't say. I just don't say and hope they don't Google it.
Okay.
Who do you think shops the most?
Should we read the other ones first and then decide?
Okay, we'll read the next one.
Okay. I bet $800 on World Cup finals and lost. Oh, I think I have a feeling about this one. Yeah, I feel like I have a feeling.
I brought home an adopted cat without letting my family know. Does she have any cat tattoos? I'm just looking at her arm.
Which one looks like a cat person?
Let's start with the easiest one, World Cup finals.
I think Abram.
I always lie about my purchase.
purchase.
I think it's Risha.
I think Risha as well.
Okay, so you think Jessica is the one with the adopted cat?
Yes.
If Abram is the one with the cat, I will just smack myself. I'm like, it's unexpected or something. Oh my god, we did it! Yeah! We did it!
Oh my goodness.
You guys all walk away with Starbucks vouchers. Congratulations. You can sit back down. Thank you so much. I'm just so curious about that adopted cat.
Me too.
Did your family ever find out about it, and what happened after?
Yeah, so my dad actually found out about it because it started mailing from my room. So I brought it back in a crate and then I placed it in my room and then it started mailing really, really loud. And then he opened the door and then it was just there in the crate, so he just had to accept it.
You didn't try to say oh no, there's no cat here, I don't know. And Abram, I'm curious about which World Cup final this was.
It was the one where Germany won. And I got the score right, by the way. Just that they scored in extra time and I bet for full time, so that was double the damage for me. But yeah.
Oh boy,
no.
$800. Damn, that must be painful. Have been painful in that moment. Okay, well, speaking of this, because I particularly like the one about the purchase being 30 to 50% cheaper than
that's quite exact.
It's quite exact, Risha. Is it to your partner or to your family or what?
It's to my family usually because they ask the most questions and I'm like, I don't want to hear your questions, so what 30 to 50% would make them the happiest? I've not spent this amount of money on something ridiculous. Then I just tell them and they're like, oh, I should get it too. I'm like, no, you should not.
Well, at least you have principle. Sometimes I straight up just make up a number. Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, mom, that was only $5. Yeah. Or free.
And
free,
it's like Chanel earrings.
Yeah. But it's fake.
Hey, no, I mean, all of us are guilty of it, but I'm sure you're hoping that your family is not tuning into this episode right now, because they will know after this. So you are very, very well seasoned and you're very conscious of your spending.
Yeah.
So tell us, do you have any tips, maybe for those of us who want to retire earlier, I don't know, save more?
I call it the Miki Rai rounding system. And so what I do actually is I use this insane rounding system in my head that makes sure that I'm always net positive. So I will round all of my expenses up and all of my income down. So for example, if I were to spend, let's say $67 on groceries, I will round that up to 100 in my head. So I'm like, okay, I spent $100 on groceries. And then similarly, if I were to make, let's say I made $1,200 from a job I did, then I will round that down and say it's only 1,000. So basically that means that when I'm budgeting in my head, there's always more money than I think I have, and then all the extra money just goes into savings.
Oh,
yeah.
That's very smart, actually.
My other big tip is that instead of, I guess in the US, the way that we teach it is that you have your needs, your wants, and then you have your savings, right? And so what they teach you is you do needs, wants, and then savings for what's left over. But instead, you should swap the savings and the wants. So you go needs, savings, and then what's left over, then you can spend on the wants. That ensures that you will always have something to save for, especially if you have a big goal, like maybe a car, maybe an animal, maybe a house. Making sure that you're hitting your goal first before you're spending on extraneous things.
Are you okay to share where you are currently financially? Because you sound like you've been saving quite a lot over the past, how many years have you been working now, both jobs?
Nursing was since 2018, so at least 5 years, and content for even longer, like 7 years or so. Yeah.
7 years. Are you comfortable to share like a range or ballpark figure?
Oh my God.
If you're not, it's okay.
I think people always ask me how much I make, and I always tell them I make a difference. Like,
Oh my God! Help me!
no, but
I will stick to that. I make a difference. I think that's the
But-
punchline.
I think I try very hard. I take my work very seriously, and every day I'm constantly trying to improve myself. And I think with that and good work ethic is why I'm able to achieve some of the goals I wanted, like buying a house. I think I'm financially in a very privileged and lucky place. I've achieved a lot more than I ever thought I could in this lifetime, and for that I'm so grateful. And I don't think I would quit everything and retire. You know, I still really
You
enjoy
still need
my
to do
work.
something.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I would certainly be more selective in what I spend my time with, and perhaps one day if I have a family, I'll be able to spend more time with them instead of focusing so much on work. So yeah, I'm not there yet, but I would like to be.
I think it's a process, and we're
Yeah.
very proud of you, Miki. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We're gonna head back to the bar right now, and I'm gonna concoct a drink that is based on your personality.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm excited. I'm
All right,
ready.
here we go. We went out once, but you don't really drink too much, right?
Yes, I really don't drink at all. But
Yeah.
the one time I went clubbing in my life, of course, Sonia had to take me clubbing at Marquee.
was an exception. How was that experience in hindsight?
I took my first shot with Sonia at Marquee, and it's documented on their social media, which I think is the funniest thing ever.
I know. And then the next day it came out in the news.
Yeah, it came out in the news.
We were laughing about it so hard because
Yeah.
I think most people were just very pleasantly surprised that it was your first time clubbing.
Yeah,
Like
at 20,
proper
I
clubbing.
was 26, I think.
Yeah. Oh my God, hilarious. Okay, we'll do the peach. Okay, peach, obviously. Miki is cute, she's bubbly, she's sweet, and we gotta put the peach tea in there. Okay.
I love peach. I was born in Japan, so I grew up drinking momo no mizu,
Oh,
which
yes.
is peach water.
Wow, this is a dark peach. Okay. That, like I said, I don't know where they get these ingredients from. I just cross my fingers for my stomach every week. I'm gonna add a little touch of honey because Miki's always so smooth in whatever she does, you know, in your dance moves. No, seriously, you should watch this girl like doing a TikTok dance move live.
It's so cringy.
No, it's so, you like watch it and you're like, okay, let's go. I'm like, what do I do?
Not at all.
What do I do with my hands? Like,
Kevin is a real smooth one.
oh sure.
I'll give him all the credit.
Okay, I'm gonna put a touch of honey in there. A little bit of extra hydration. So I'm gonna put some soda water in there because you are bubbly AF. And as an homage to your childhood where you actually sold pencils to buy orange juice, I will add some orange juice. Okay? A splash, a splash. Pineapples are, you know, a symbol of luck. And I think that we all need a little bit of that, right? I'm getting a bit better at the garnishing stuff. So I heard some snickering, some laughing from the crew. I think they secretly judge me all the time. Here we go. Cheers, Miki. Cheers, cheers, cheers. I don't know how this will turn out, but let's take a sip.
It's actually quite good.
It tastes like kombucha.
It does taste like
Right?
kombucha.
Audience members, let's vote.
What do you guys think we should name this cocktail?
We have a winning entry.
We do.
Yeah,
Okay.
the winning entry is a Mikito, like a mojito, but with you.
Mojito!
Who was responsible let's go for that.
So cute.
Abra again?
Abram!
Sorry, we can't give you the $800 that you lost. Like,
I was
that's
just
not the
thinking
prize.
that.
Thank you. Thank you to our audience.
Thank you.
One more sip of my Mikito.
Yeah. It's quite good.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a lot worse.
No, you
but
did a great job.
Some guests like pretend that they like it, I think.
No, it's quite good.
And I'm always like, you don't have to pretend.
Not me. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good. I'm kidding.